Hi, this is Kristy with Guidepost to Wellness. How are you doing today? Today, I wanted to talk about intuition. I think that this is an area that has really something that I've grown into as I've gotten older, and I think it's something that our society in general doesn't seem to value, and that's why I think it's really an important thing to talk about, especially when it has to do with wellness. So, what is intuition? Intuition is one of those things where it's kind of hard to put your finger on, but we've all experienced it. The pure definition of it is to understand or know without conscious reasoning. It's an instinctive understanding. For a lot of us, it could be, we could hear it as like a little whisper. It could be something that we get a feeling in our gut about something, especially decision making type of things. Um, you may get a bad feeling about something, a good feeling. You may just instantly know the doorbell's going to ring, or just those any of those little types of things are your intuition. And the thing that's really important to understand is that it's pretty common for all of us to kind of ignore our intuition, especially when we're growing up. I know that intuition wasn't something that was valued when I was growing up. Being analytical, using your head, those were all the things that were more of a value. I was kind of, good in school. And so using my brain, all those types of things, and the phrase, use your head, were things that were very common. Um, Nobody in my family really was intuitive or into any of those types of things. Um, you know, didn't believe in witchcraft or any of those types of things when I was growing up. And so I kind of started to suppress my intuition and just kind of ignore that funny feeling that I would get. And a lot of times when I was young and I was making bad decisions, I would talk myself into or out of things based on doing like a pro and con list in my head instead of how that thought made me feel. Words have energy, thoughts have energy, and I know that whenever I think back on some of the decisions that I made as a young adult, I even now I can get just that little tinge of ugh, in my gut, that feeling in my gut that just really told me that it wasn't the right thing for me to do. And phrases like listen to my heart and gut feeling and things like that just weren't in my vocabulary back then. I was a military intelligence officer. I wasn't really taught to use intuition, though I think there would probably be times, unfortunately, in battle where intuition would probably save the day, but I wasn't taught to use that. I was taught to use statistics and facts and knowledge and things of that nature. So I know when I was young and I didn't listen to my intuition, I made a lot of decisions that just really were not the right decisions for me. And I think that by learning how to tap back into our intuition, we can learn how to make the decisions that are right for us. Not necessarily anybody else, but just for us. And one of the ways that it takes to do that is it does take some quiet time. It takes some time where you quiet the noise and the distractions. We spend a lot of time with electronic devices, reading emails, scrolling, surfing the web, watching TV, and we don't spend as much time in the quiet, being mindful. I'll talk more about mindfulness, and I probably have in several videos. I'm a big proponent of mindfulness, of really just taking a deep breath, quieting our minds, and really just kind of feeling what comes up, listening to our intuition, giving it the ability to be heard, because we can't have all of that noise going on when our intuition has been suppressed for so long. We can't have all that noise going on in order to recognize it. And once you recognize it, then you will feel more comfortable with it and you'll learn to just to kind of go with it. And the intuition, the thing that's hard about intuition too is it's not always extremely clear cut. It's not always if I feel this then it's something good, or if I feel that it's something bad. It's not that simple, but it is our instincts and our subconscious and our spirit trying to guide us. especially when it comes to making decisions. So I think the first step is to really think about how to find ways to quiet the noise that's always going on, and stop the distractions, and maybe start with some type of mindfulness activity. And when you're doing the mindfulness activity, when you are trying to tap into your intuition, then maybe you ask yourself a question before you do the mindfulness activity. Or you just allow yourself to think the thoughts, well, I wonder, and what if, or wonder if this is going to happen today, or wonder what's going to happen today, and things of that nature, and just get back into the habit of that. But I'll put some resources down below. Sonia Choquette was one of the great inspirations that I started reading about on intuition. She has a lot of good information. She has some free series and some paid series, and tapping into your intuition, that's a great help. But I do think that when it comes to wellness and knowing ourselves, that intuition is something that needs to come back into practice more. I know that when it comes to my body, it's really important for me to listen to my intuition. That is, listening to my intuition has helped me over the years actually prevent getting sicker. It has allowed me to prevent myself going back into a lupus flare at times, because I've trusted my intuition, and I've taken the breaks, and gotten the rest, and listened to my body, so that I wouldn't go too far and make myself ill. And I think that that's really important, whether you've got a chronic disease or you're a generally well person. But learning how to recognize those differences in our body, and recognize that this is the way it is every day, but wow, this is a little different, or I don't just feel quite right. Those are the types of things that can get a person to a hospital in time to prevent some life-altering type of illness, or things like that. So I think intuition does have a place in wellness. I think that everybody has to find their level of comfort with it. But like I said, I think that think about it. Think about the times that you've listened to your intuition, where you've just had a gut feeling or a heart feeling, or whatever it is, however your intuition speaks to you, and think about how things went in your life. Did they go well? Could they have gone differently? And try to figure out how you can leverage your intuition in your daily life. I'd love to hear about how your intuition speaks to you, how you tap into your intuition, times that you haven't followed your intuition, what you've learned about that, and any other resources too. So I will definitely include some resources in the text below the video. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll talk about the next ABC to Wellness soon. Be well.